Welcome to day 6 of our trip from Tiverton to Oslo. Today we're travelling by train from Bergen to Oslo. Bergen railway station was opened in 1913 and its architecture denotes that of an important landmark. The architect was Jens Kieland, and the station is also the commuter terminus for the outlying stations of Arne, Voss and Mørdal. As you can see from the wet floor, it is raining outside and is not particularly warm. Annie and I missed breakfast at the hotel because during weekends it is served at a later time. I was therefore interested in what we could buy. Let's go and have a look at our train. We're going to be sitting on it for over 7 hours, so we're hoping that it's going to be very comfortable.
We arrived at the train about 40 minutes before the train was due to leave at 8:14. Before long, people on holiday tours arrived in readiness for the train. When you booked, people were allocated seat numbers, so there was no worries about not getting a seat on this train. The train was close to capacity today.
We were surprised how long they kept us waiting before we could board the train. It was cold waiting on the concourse.
It is certainly much warmer on the train. We set off, and very soon, leaving Bergen, we went into our first tunnel. Outside, the weather is not being kind for filming, and this is compounded by the dirty windows of the train. But we will try and give you the best pictures we can. We will do our best as amateurs at filming this trip. We will pass through 182 tunnels on this train journey, and our longest tunnel is 10.3 kilometres long. The railway, built in 1909 and runs over the highlands between the two largest cities in Norway. This line is Northern Europe's highest rail line, with Finns being the highest train station at 1,222 metres above sea level. From Finns itself, you can view 3 glaciers, and the only way to arrive in Finns is by train, bicycle, or skis.
We continue to climb through difficult terrain. We've cut out from the video the many tunnels we've been through, but we are in awe of the engineers' ability to make their way into solid granite. Outside it remains cloudy, and we expect you've noticed the prominence of the silver birch tree. Now that we're at a higher elevation, their leaves tell us autumn arrives earlier here. We wonder what this trip might be like in February. It would be stunning in a clear blue sky and probably a little worrisome in a full-blown blizzard. Our train runs between Bergen and Oslo throughout the year, and we are told by our ticket inspector the train is less busy during the winter months. We think he's encouraging us to give it a go, but while the landscape will be brilliant white then, the days will be much shorter. We're about to arrive at Murdra, which is 867 metres above sea level. This is an important station for those that want to take a circular trip. Starting at Bergen, you can take our train to here and then another down to the town of Flam. The descent is steep and takes 1 hour. We're told the scenery is very beautiful, and en route the train will stop at the famous waterfall Kjøsfossen for about 5 minutes, and passengers can disembark to take photographs. From the town of Flam, you can take a vessel back to Bergen along the Sognefjord. But this is not for us today. We're on our way to Oslo. The engineers not only had to build the line, they had to build in the protection to keep the line safe. Large barriers, avalanche tunnels and netting is deployed right along our path, and these have to be continually maintained. Our train has worked its way above the tree line. On the northern side of the mountains, you can see last year's snow.
Guess what it is? Yeah. This is for avalanche?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Thank you very much, sir.
Lady, we need to go again. There we go. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next stop will be Finse, then we are at the top.
Oh, right. Okay. Thank you.
For a moment. We will try to give it like 3 minutes
Thank you, sir.
there. That's
Yes. You're happy you've checked my tickets?
See the glaciers come down.
Oh, really?
There's a big glacier, and we can see like arms of it, like 3 arms of snow
Oh,
down the
wow.
mountainside there.
Fabulous. Thank you.
Yeah, we tried to see it like
Which side it's going to be?
I'm pressed it, mine's on.
Another avalanche tunnel. Which side? I think. This side. Oh, sorry. What, getting on? So, opening. Okay. So just for 2-3 minutes. Yeah. Oh yes, there's one, isn't it? Oh, I wonder, is that all one or is that two? He said there were three. I don't know. It's sort of cold snow, isn't it? John. Oh. Sorry?
Get on, darling.
Well, he said 2-3 minutes.
Oh,
So didn't he?
Yeah,
Seemed
I
to-
always makes me nervous. Though.
I know that our door we got out of is already closed, and
That's
you think,
right.
oh.
I panic.
Oh. Well, that got the blood going, didn't it? Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry, you this way as well. Go off. Back in our seats, we see that there was the snowplow. We did also find out that polar explorers, they used to go to Finns, Nansen, Amundsen, Scott and Shackleton and others came to Finns to train for their polar expeditions. Shackleton called Finns and Antarctica in miniature.
Annie and I travelled standard class between Bergen and Oslo. The seats were comfortable and the windows were large, which made viewing easier. On the basis this journey is marketed as one of the most scenic in Europe, it would have been appreciated by both of us if the windows had been cleaned before we departed. The operator has high occupancy on this route, and it would make sense to us if they had put a little more effort into this. The staff on board were incredibly helpful and spoke English beautifully. They are a credit to their company. And there is a carriage devoted to bicycles, and this was predominantly empty. And this became our go-to place when we wanted to video on the other side of the carriage.
Look at the landslide the other side of the lake. Ooh. On Tuesday, the 8th of August this year, a powerful storm, Storm Hans, hit Norway, causing landslides and leaving entire towns stranded. It was the worst storm for 25 years. The line between Bergen and Oslo was cut, and alternative routes had to be sought by passengers. When we heard the news, we wondered whether we would be able to complete our journey to Oslo. However, the Norwegians are a resourceful nation and had the line up and running by August the 14th. The line to Trondheim suffered more extensive damage and may not be operational for a while.
Annie and I are nearing the end of our train journey. A good indication that we are closing in on Oslo is our speed, which has been increasing. The remaining part of the journey is suburbia, and we've decided to bring our video to a close here. We hope you've enjoyed the views we've taken, even though the clouds have been grey throughout our trip. Thank you very much for watching our video this far.